Hello everyone, I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you're interested in purchasing this book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. For the last 2 years, real estate and stock market investors have seen huge and tremendous gains, and in some cases have doubled their portfolios. Housing prices have doubled along with the stock market. If you purchased a home in 2019 or 2020, you proved to make your purchase at exactly the right time. Or did you? A recent article published on MSN.com indicates that housing is overvalued by 35% and 27% relative to wages, while rents have risen to an overvaluation of 25%. This means that renters are paying 25% too much, and the correction is set to take place this summer in the form of a recession. Let's discuss what a recession actually is. A recession is by definition a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP for 2 consecutive quarters. In simple terms, this means people lose jobs and stop shopping. When people stop shopping, more people lose their jobs, and so on down the line it goes. The drop in real estate would likely take place because people have lost their jobs and they can no longer afford a down payment of 20% or a mortgage. Then there are those that already have houses, are sort of forced into foreclosure due to their job losses, and they're unable to make their monthly payments. While the lockdowns brought things we have never really seen before, like stimulus checks and rent and mortgage forbearance, there is absolutely no guarantee that this would happen again if there were another dip in the economy. We simply cannot rely on our government. We are in a housing bubble and nobody wants to hear it. The price to income is the same as it was in 2006 and 2007, and nobody wanted to hear it then. They thought that their house was not overvalued back then either. Historically, home prices go up 1 or 2 percentage points above the inflation rate. Right now, it's up by 12 percentage points. Given that this rise has been happening over the last 2 years or so, this sort of tells us that we're going to have a 20 to 30% bear market in residential real estate. And of course, nobody wants to believe that either. The housing market is not the only problem. Remember that during recessions, people stop spending their money. This is typically out of fear. Stocks that have to do with consumer-driven companies like here in the US have a tendency to fall during these recessions because their quarterly earnings are not meeting their qualifications for their investors, I guess you could say. When this happens, the stock price goes down. When the price goes down, people have a tendency to sell. Then the price goes lower and lower and lower, and more people bail out on the companies. While long-term investors see this as an opportunity to buy low and sell high later on, the short-term implications are not so great. Investing during a recession is very challenging for even the most seasoned of investors, but investors must do what they can with what they've got, even during recessions. Certainly stocks fare well, including healthcare, energy, food and treasury bonds. This is where investors go for the short term, small gains instead of stocks that may possibly lose their value in the short term. What can we do? Well, during recession, you want to be strategic and you want to keep as much cash as you can on possible. Be defensive instead of offensive. Remember that recessions are typically short term, but they can sometimes stretch for long periods of time. Follow your instincts, grow a garden if you think it'll save you money on your food bill, and learn to conserve the energy in your home whenever it's possible in order to lower your bill. Shop around for every purchase, everything from insurance to groceries, in an effort to free up as much money as you can. If you have items sitting around your house that you have not been using and you've been thinking about selling, do it now. Do not wait until a recession when you will likely not see a sale at all, and if you do, it'll be for much less than you could get the item for right now. Use that extra money and keep it in cash so that if an opportunity runs sort of in front of you, you can go ahead and take advantage of that opportunity. do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. I think I'm going to go ahead and make this into a bit of a two-part video because I don't feel that the first part of the video was descriptive enough. So when an opportunity comes in front of you, what is that? So right now, as I'm making this video, interest rate for mortgages are above 4%. I know that my brother had a mortgage before he paid his off just last year for less than 2%. So the mortgage rates are doubling, therefore making it effectively impossible or very difficult for people to be able to afford homes who could have otherwise afforded them before. So keeping cash on hand until an opportunity is in front of you is a couple of things. It pretty much means, okay, so you've been house hunting, right? And you decided to sell all of your stuff. But because the mortgage rates have gone up, you can no longer afford the monthly payment. And because the prices are so high, you can't afford that 20% down payment. Well, in a recession, a lot of houses go into foreclosure and short sales, and you can work with a short sale real estate advisor or realtor, I guess you could call them, and let them know, your price range, what you're looking for. And it's possible that that house that was like $300,000 in 2021, 2022, it could be down to like 175, 180. If the person who owned it before had difficulties making their payment, they had to make a short sale, but they had a hefty down payment when times were good. And then a short sale is going to be for less than market value, and it's just one step to save their own credit score before the house goes into foreclosure. That would be an example of an opportunity in front of you. If you are considering relocating, it's sort of the same thing. If you want to move to a lower cost area, it might be advisable to wait until the summertime. Summertime is typically when houses are at their lowest point anyways, because most homes sell in December, or was it March? Maybe it was May. There's 2 months out of the year where houses sell the most, and one of them was surprising. I think that one's right around Christmas and the other is like May-ish. So it'll be past the time when the housing market is at its highest. That's one thing. Another thing is that, like, during recession, say you want to buy a new car, but you don't have enough money. And as you know, car prices right now are completely insane. But if you're saving up your money to buy a car, and you don't have $15,000, sometimes during recessions, people are going to be trying to offset their large ticket items in order to maybe keep themselves afloat, pay the bills, be able to buy groceries, or even pay the mortgage. So that would be a good time to look into purchasing a very good used car. That's something along those lines. Long-term stocks. So people who invest in, and I've been investing for 22 years now. There's hype stocks, AMC, GameStop. Those are hype stocks. That's like an example of what a hype stock is. But if you're looking for long-term investment, like 20 years or more, getting a stock, it doesn't really matter when you buy it, but if you're trying to time the market, it's never a good time to time the market. Statistics, a million different surveys and statistics and studies and research have been done proving that it is best to just put your money in the market and not try to time it. So if you're looking to find a low cost and you're very specific about a specific stock. I'm just going to use an example, Coca-Cola, right? Everybody knows what Coca-Cola is, and say that Coca-Cola had a high of $55, right? And then it goes into recession and it's down to $35. So now would be the time to shove your money into that Coca-Cola stock. And that's just an example. I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. And please consult your own person before you make any stock purchases. You guys know the deal. But, if you wanted to buy a stock now during the recession, that's the time to buy a good stock. And especially if you're looking to keep it long term, it's just going to kick butt over time. All stocks kick butt over time. Okay, not all, many, most. I am totally screwing this up. Just keep some cash on hand if you're looking to make a big purchase and just wait for the recession. There you go. There you have it. Rocky Cameo. I'm going to keep it short because you're not doing anything exciting. Huh? He just does not care. Yeah, he ain't moving. Don't worry, he's not dead.